Welcome to Dark Minds, Stories of Serial Killers. I'm Victoria, and here, we explore stories that lurk in the shadows, secrets left untold and mysteries hidden behind the minds of the world's darkest figures. Today we'll dive into a case that shook not only a city but an entire nation. Luis Garavito, known as La Bestia, or the Beast, is responsible for one of the most disturbing and horrific killing sprees in history. But what if I told you that what you know about this case is only a fraction of the truth? Some mysteries are so deep, they seem out of reach. With over 138 confirmed victims, Garavito's story is just the beginning of something much darker, a fragment of an even more sinister truth, as each detail uncovered draws us further into the mystery. If stories like this stir your curiosity and drive to uncover hidden truths, be sure to like, comment, and share. Your support helps us bring more shadowy mysteries to light. Subscribe to Dark Minds to explore the secrets that others would rather leave buried. What if I told you that everything you know about this case is only a fraction of the truth? Some mysteries are so deep that they seem out of reach. Today, we'll enter the shadows and uncover what still remains hidden. Luis Garavito was called La Bestia, and with good reason. His crimes were horrifying, his actions brutal. But why did he act this way? What drove him to target such young victims, tearing apart countless lives without mercy? Over nearly a decade, he moved from town to town, leaving a trail of horror. Some say he was not acting alone, that his motives might mask something even darker. Do we truly know the whole truth? Today we explore doubts, unsolved mysteries, and the secrets surrounding the case of Luis Garavito. It was a time when Colombia faced extreme tension and violence. In the 1990s, the country was gripped by fear, with open conflict between armed groups and rampant crime. In this chaos, something darker began to take shape, but few noticed. Silent, hidden forces seemed to move in the background, and among them was Luis Garavito, a seemingly ordinary man, carrying something indescribable within him. He approached innocent boys, children wandering aimlessly through the streets, offering help or small gifts. But there was a cost. These children vanished mysteriously, leaving families desperate for answers. In a time when the city seemed asleep, dark forces began to stir, and a killer started to hunt his prey with a brutality Colombia had never witnessed. The setting of violence and poverty was the perfect cover for someone like Garavito. Who would suspect a man just passing through, blending into the chaos, but using it as a perfect camouflage? Was he really acting alone, or was there more behind his actions, perhaps even a network that helped him choose and evade detection? As authorities tried to find a pattern, Garavito always seemed one step ahead, disappearing into the night like a shadow no one could catch. How did he evade justice for so long? Why did it take years to connect his crimes? Some questions remain unanswered, deepening the feeling that Garavito's motives are still shrouded in secrets. Was the country's chaos a smokescreen for something more sinister? Some believe that the full story is yet to be told, that there are truths buried within this dark chapter that may never see the light. To society, Luis Garavito appeared as just another wanderer, unnoticed. But behind this facade was one of history's most brutal killers. How does someone lead a double life, hiding monstrous intentions behind a mask of normalcy? Garavito didn't just destroy lives, he preyed on suffering and on the vulnerabilities of his chosen victims. But was he acting alone, or was there more to his motives? Some suggest he followed an impulse, a force that seemed to control him. Sometimes he looked ordinary, but inside, there was something sinister, something indecipherable, like a force driving him toward an unknown mission. Each action was calculated. Meticulous and cautious, he knew how to vanish without a trace, how to blend in. He would disguise himself as a street vendor, a beggar, a wanderer seeking help. While he kept this facade, his intentions were chillingly cruel. In each town, he left a trail of pain, as if suffering and destruction reflected something darker inside him. Was he a man tortured by his own past, or driven by something even darker? His personality, his motives, and his true purpose remain as fragments of a puzzle that may never be fully understood. The most unsettling part of this story is Garavito's duality. How did he blend in, live as a normal citizen? This ability to transform, to hide, to manipulate, suggests a mind far more complex than a common criminal. Did he develop this skill alone, or was there a hidden force aiding him? We may never know. What we have are pieces of a story that seem to hide in the shadows, waiting for someone brave enough to take a closer look. What drove Luis Garavito to choose his victims? Was it mere opportunity, or was there a hidden pattern, a meaning few could understand? Garavito targeted vulnerable boys, poor children without family support. In each city, he found boys wandering the streets, lost and unnoticed. He approached with gifts or promises of escape. The connection between his victims may lie in innocence and vulnerability, but some specialists suggest he may have held an obsession deeper than mere control. Some say Garavito seemed compelled by a force within himself, almost as if following a distorted mission. He mentioned hearing a voice guiding him, a desire he couldn't resist. This behavior led psychologists to theorize he created a mission within his mind, something warped and unexplainable. But why did he choose the same victim type and manage to evade detection? Was he reliving his own tormented past, or silencing parts of his own history? Although the pattern seems clear, is it the true motive? Or does his reason remain hidden, waiting to be uncovered? Theories about Garavito's choice of victims bring more questions than answers. Did he target these boys only for their vulnerability, or was there something more? He sometimes suggested his choices had roots, perhaps as attempts to purge himself of something he could never overcome. Many still wonder what truly drove a man to a path of such destruction and pain. Some believe we will never have all the answers, that his motives are locked away, buried in lies and secrets known only to him.